Hello everyone, I am Cool Guy with Planet Destiny, and today we're going to be reviewing the vendor Palindrome that came from the first Age of Triumph reset. I've been a fan of the Palindrome since it came out. It's the 22 rate of fire 81 impact class of hand cannon like the popular Ice Luna and Finalis Peril. Now if you're looking for an in-depth review of the Palindrome itself, there's a link in the description of my Palindrome review for Planet Destiny. So let's walk through this roll, why it's special, and what could be the deciding factors if you should spend some of your marks on it this week. We still have a little bit of time to get it before reset, and if you're watching this video after this roll is gone, it still has some information on an Outlaw Reactive Reload hand cannon. The sights are True Sight, Sure Shot, and Quick Draw. The roll is Outlaw or Icarus, Rifled Barrel, and Reactive Reload. Outlaw gives a 150% reload increase for 5 seconds after a headshot, and note that Outlaw only works within the time cooldown. It does not reset after each headshot. The timer must fully go down to 0 for it to proc again. Now we also have Icarus as an option. It gives you improved accuracy in air, and it's a good perk for players using exotics like the Bones of Ao. It's a good perk in general, but this particular role is centered around having Outlaw. The middle tree is Rifled Barrel or high caliber rounds, and Rifled Barrel is ideal. It gives you the necessary range bonus that you need to hit cap for this hand cannon without sacrificing your stability. The alternative is a reinforced barrel, which does affect your stability. Rifled affects your reload speed. That's what we want, and to counter that, we have Outlaw. Now the last perk is Reactive Reload. Reloading this weapon after a kill grants a 33% damage bonus. Now this perk has been changed over the years. You used to be able to get kills by other means, such as explosions, secondary kills, grenades, but now it's working as intended. You must get a kill with the weapon that you're using it with. And to better understand this vendor role, we're going to be referencing 2 weapons. Number 1 is the old vendor Finalis Peril from the Iron Banner, because it is the same exact role. And a quick note, the Peril does drop from the hand cannon bounty from the Crucible Quartermaster. And the second weapon is the previous vendor Palindrome with Rifled and Rangefinder. The Finalis Peril and the Palindrome are top tier for the archetype, with of course the Ice Luna being thrown into the top 3, and I've had a lot of players ask me if this Palindrome is worth getting if they have the old vendor's Finalis Peril, and it's funny because they are strikingly similar. So in comparison, they have the same rate of fire and impact. Base range goes to the Palindrome at 39, and it does hit cap at 62. Base range for the Finalis Peril is 25, and it goes to 61 when you put on Rifled or Reinforced. So it's right at cap, it almost hits cap at 61. The base stability is 17 for the Finalis Peril, 20 for Palindrome. The recoil direction is the same at 94, which means that the weapon kick is very stable going straight up and down with very little lateral movement. Some players like this, some players like the recoil direction of, like, let's say the Ice Luna, which has a recoil direction of 60. The aim assist for the Finalis Peril is 71, Palindrome is 70, so as you guys can see, they're very similar. These hand cannons of the 22 rate of fire 81 impact class handle a little bit differently as far as effective range with the addition of the Age of Triumph. They received a 3 meter range nerf, and that actually translates to a 4.5 total meter nerf when you aim down sights. This nerf was to all hand cannons, but this is the most popular type. So within this 22 rate of fire 81 impact archetype, the new range for a hand cannon with just Rifled Barrel like these two is 23.5 meters. And also Reinforced Barrel can be used, it's also the same. If you have Rifled or Reinforced Barrel and Rangefinder, the new range is 25.5 meters. And that's the difference between this vendor roll and the previous roll, that 2 meters. And range is also tied into a number of stats such as aim assist, and generally a rangefinder hand cannon just feels better when landing shots. In PvE, you can have a little bit of fun with it, but there are a number of better options, especially with the addition of the new Adept weapons with Arc, Solar, and Void Burn. And if you do use it, it works best when you take out a small mob such as a Dragger of X, then use Reactive Reload, the extra damage you get to immediately start downing majors. This is more of a PvP weapon, and you've been seeing some of the footage in the background as to why this type of roll can be lethal. Base damage is 86 to the head, 57 to the body in effective range. With Reactive Reload, it does 114 to the head and 76 to the body, resulting in a 2-shot headshot. And also, Reactive Reload can do 114, say your timer runs out. A regular headshot of 86 is going to equal a total of 200 damage, which can still result in a 2-tap headshot. You can be very aggressive with this type of roll, and for me, chaining Reactive Reload kills is one of the best times I have ever had in Destiny. I love it. It can be a very potent combination on the offensive, but it also has some defensive capabilities. When you have the perk active, you can challenge if you need to. It's one of those things you can have in your back pocket. You can do the massive 114 headshot, make someone back off. It's good for a body shot melee, definitely a headshot melee. Now, we can be offensive or defense with a roll like this, but what I'm finding after this update, one of the best utilities is the increased damage to combat fall off. You can get the first kill and then use the damage to make up for the range. I found it very beneficial in all game modes, Rumble, 3v3, 6v6, but should you spend your marks on this weapon? That's the question, and yes, definitely, but that comes with some caution, and it also depends on a couple of things with you, the user. And this is the 3 deciding factors if you want to spend your marks on it, things you must consider. Number 1, this role asks something of you. For it to perform to its highest potential, you have to go for headshots and reloads, constantly trying to chamber that extra damage. And you have to ask yourself, is that something that you want to do? And for some players, not so much. That doesn't fit their playstyle, and that's okay. Number 2, it doesn't have rangefinder, and some players won't touch a hand cannon without rangefinder now. That is player preference, since rangefinder is one of the best options you can get. And number 3 is if you have the old vendor's Finales Peril. We talked about it a little bit. They are essentially the same exact weapon, 1 or 2 stats off in favor of one or the other. Now there is a 4th thing. It might be that you could find this setup way too situational. And personally, I'm hitting 114 every single game I go into because I actively look for them. It can be situational, but knowing that if you're playing to the role, it can be lethal. This is one of my favorite roles in Destiny on any weapon, Outlaw, Reactive, Reload, and this hand cannon has the all-important range boost of Rifled Barrel in the middle. And if you have never tried a role like this on a hand cannon and you're a hand cannon lover, I strongly recommend that you at least try it, because you might just like it. Worst comes to worst, you get some marks, you move back onto your luck in the chamber and or rangefinder, etc, etc. But with this role, anything that helps reload is always wanted. Hand cannon reload gauntlets, second wind, surge, pulse wave, the aspect gauntlets. This is more so for non-outlaw kills to help the reload to get reactive reload going. So take everything into consideration. A role like this is seen rarely, but the things you can do with it are extraordinary. Let us know in the comment section if you guys picked up this palindrome, how you like it, and if you don't, let us know as well. There's a link in the description to my channel if you'd like to stop by and say hi to me. I have been Cool Guy with Planet Destiny. It's your guide to the Destiny universe.